point. But if he tries to come back in, because we've already tried that. Now, I'll come back and discuss this on migrants.
Are we on? Either way, if you have a trial, my point is this, okay? Based on the facts and the order for which you have agreed to discipline him, I am saying that you are disciplining him as a licensee. He is not a licensee. That's the problem I have. He was a licensee, is not now a licensee. And I was thinking that it would be better and stronger if you discipline him as doing unlicensed activity. In either event, if there's an order that comes down after a full hearing finding violations, and you can come back at that point if there's an application, as Julie pointed out, first of all, they have to reveal it, and you can deny them based on that. It would be presentation, but also under 6213-312. The problem I have is making a good record that won't easily be challenged as somehow being arbitrary or capricious on your part, considering the fact the man is no longer a licensee. That's the concern I have. And I don't want the egregious acts to be unattended to, but I am saying that what the investigation showed is some of the allegations based already in these two things are continuing, and I can bring a good case for now for absolutely being unlicensed for all of it.
Well, I'm holding up the show, and I call for the question.
Call for the question.
I've got to ask one other question.
Okay.
When you say unlicensed for all of it, how can you go back and say that he wasn't licensed to begin with?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that some of the complaints in the first two complaints, some of the activities are still going on, and now they're just also unlicensed activity, which is just easier to prove than the actions of somebody who's no longer licensed.
Ready to go.
Okay.
But you don't have to, I mean, I'm happy to go forward, but I do have to go forward with a hearing on it.
The motion is to accept the new recommendation to close the files and open a new matter based on unlicensed activity as supported by the investigation. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. And I have a question of Eve on this one. I know Arello looks at this and everybody has this same, do we have some sort of file that we could post on a board for the people in Mississippi and Alabama, if you know, or whatever, that we've got this unlicensed activity going on, and maybe they're operating in other places where we could warn each other?
We can send something on the listserv to the other directors. The data bank is set up to take actions that are disciplinary in nature, so that you couldn't put something speculative, you know, like.
Okay, well, I mean, if we come through, if she comes through and she does find unlicensed activity and we go through with that, is there something nationwide where we can communicate this with other people?
We can put that on the Arella data bank, but even just the possibility of his doing things like that, you can put on the listserv. I get things from time to time from other directors that say, you know, there's X scam or this scam, you know, that they haven't taken them to a hearing. It's just that this is what we've seen.
Just so I'm clear, we closed both files, but we didn't wipe them clean.
That's right. They're not wiped clean. There's still complaints that are opened against the licensee.
Right.
And
so this just allows you to go get him under a different
right.
set of rules.
And I should have explained maybe this a little bit further. Your laws, when it concerns a licensee, a lot of them are the purposes to get a licensee in compliance with the laws. Mm-hmm. And if you're asking to be in compliance with the laws for a broker and they're no longer a broker, that's sort of almost a moot point. So it is just financial, and I'm saying if we're doing just financial and that's not a bad way to go, then we ought to get them on something that is a lot more egregious in the grand scheme of things.
If you'd have told me that an hour ago, I wouldn't have helped you up.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry.
Okay, next one.
Okay, this is 2013-001291. This is a TREC open complaint based on a newspaper article regarding suspension of respondent's license in another state and an article indicating respondent had pled guilty to bank fraud. Attorney for respondent replied to provide copies of the plea agreement and states respondent did not directly inform TREC of the guilty plea, as respondent had expected the other state to so notify TREC of the suspension of that other state license. The respondent's attorney states the sentencing for the criminal matter will be July 18th and that the hope is for no jail time. My recommendation is for a consent order for voluntary surrender for violation of 6213-312B12, a conviction of, quote, similar offense.
You know,
Why not failure to check that box?
There wasn't a box to check.
wasn't.
He's already a licensee.
Move to accept council's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Northern, a second by Commissioner DeCharo. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, our motion is, the recommendation is consent order for voluntary surrender or violation of 62-13-312B12, conviction of similar offense. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Now, where are we?
I'm done. That's it on the legal report.
You got anything, that you're done?
Yeah, that was the last thing on my report.
Okay. Commissioners, is there anything else? Because it looks like we got a
Motion to
recess.
recess.
I have a motion to recess by Commissioner DeChara. I have one moment because our education director.
Madam Chairman, remember when you sign out today, sign out for today, and then we will begin tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a trial scheduled. It will be like a court setting, so I know that you're very good about chatter and phone calls, but tomorrow, because we will have an ALJ here, we'll be even more so diligent about that.
Do I have a second to the motion to recess?
Anybody? Second motion. Oh, second.
Okay, discussion. Okay, all in favor to recess and let's go home, say aye. Aye. Let's go.
I bet somebody out there would have seconded it.
I bet they would have too.
Y'all be careful going home. See you tomorrow.
Hey, who's the judge tomorrow?
I'm sorry?
Who's our judge?
Madeline Williams.
Don't know that person.
I don't think we've had her before.
What time's our dinner reservation?
7 o'clock.